Hello, Patriots. This is Dr. Dawn. Today I have some great information that I'm going to share with you. One of them is an article that came out by the Association of American Physicians and Surgeons, and this is on mask facts. And I'm going to go through it with you, and I'm also going to link it below so that you can share it with other people. But first, I'm going to go over what's going on in your state. And if you happen to be in a blue state, there's a lot of nonsense going on. They are trying to do mask mandates. In California, Newsom has decided that he wants to shut down businesses again because he says that the numbers have spiked. But of course, we know the numbers are up because he's testing more people. And also, you can test one person several times. So, of course, the numbers are going to go up. But he fails to say that the death rate is down, and he fails to say how many people actually have symptoms, active symptoms of the virus. Just because someone tests positive for it, it doesn't mean they're actually having symptoms, nor does it mean that it's a deadly virus. And what we're coming to find out is it's not deadly at all. And in fact, in our hospitals, they're fairly empty. And if you do have some people in there because of coronavirus, it's only because they may have a symptom of a cold or something else that they're scared of. They're going in to be tested and they're releasing them. So we're having very few deaths. And most of this is hyped up by our fake news media. And again, if you're in blue states, they continue to put restrictions on you, more and more restrictions when they really should be lifted. So I just want to give you some more facts and information. One very troubling thing going on in California, and I would imagine if you're in a blue state, it's going on in your state as well, is that they're releasing more prisoners. Okay, so they're releasing more prisoners because they said it's a COVID scare. But of course, in California, one of the exemptions for people that don't have to wear a mask are actually prisoners. Well, I think that's kind of, how do you figure that out? So we're releasing these people because we can't put masks on them. So now they're being released. And where are these people going to go? Well, the last time they released them, they most likely trained them, or at least some of them, to be in the riots that I'm sure they're preparing a whole new batch of people to be in riots again. But let's get back to this idea of not putting masks on. Well, you know what? The reason that they don't put the masks on is because they don't work. Also, of course, they don't want their face covered, and for various reasons, but really because masks just don't work. In California, they also had a news article that came out that several people in our California Congress here, they have coronavirus, and they tracked back to when they thought that they got it, and it was during a session where everybody had masks on. So the reality is we're being pushed to wear them, but everybody knows they really don't work. So now let me get to a little bit of research that we can delve into, because I don't know how long they're going to be able to push this stuff until more people fight back or till sheeple wake up. I mean, it's really in the people's hands to fight back and say something. And of course, for businesses to stop following what they're doing. I understand that they're threatening these businesses, saying that they're going to pull their license, saying that they're going to fine them. But what are they in violation of? Because the laws on the books are not the laws that they would be fining them for, and they didn't vote on this. They don't have anything down. So really, what are businesses, what kind of laws are they breaking that they have down on the books? I don't think there's any. And I know that the businesses that have fought back, they have won. So, I understand how they are in California. They'll try to fine you for anything or take away your license for anything. But I have to tell you, it's like you are a law-abiding person who's getting a license to open your business, but if they're not following their own standards set in place, how can they expect you to? All right, so let's talk about this particular study, which I think is really interesting. Again, it's from the Association of American Physicians and Surgeons. And let's talk about the idea of the filter and efficiency and fit of these masks. And so what they're basically saying, I'll read this part here. Surgical masks are designed to protect patients from a surgeon's respiratory droplets and aren't effective at blocking particles smaller than 100 So basically, if you go out somewhere and you don't have a mask and they hand you those, I don't know, little surgical masks, I think it's the one that in our state, Governor Newsom spent $1 billion on with China. So I don't even know what's in those masks. But anyway, they don't work. It's saying right here that the droplets that if you were to sneeze and you were infected, that they just spray right through. And so it's not protecting anyone. Okay, another thing. This is what they're saying. All of the cloth, mask, and material have near zero efficiency at 0.3 a particle size that easily penetrates into the lungs. So again, they're saying that the particles from the coronavirus are much smaller, and so cloth masks are not effective. Another study evaluated 44 masks, respirators, and other materials with similar methods and small aerosols. So these are the efficiency rates. The N95 FFR filter efficiency was greater than 95%. Medical mask, 55% efficiency. General mask, 38%. And handkerchiefs, 2%. And other cloth masks at 13%. Conclusion, wearing masks will not reduce SARS-CoV-2. So cloth masks will be ineffective at preventing SARS-CoV-2 transmission, whether worn as a source control or as a personal protective equipment. This is the other thing that I think is really more insidious or frustrating, or however you want to look at it. Masks may confuse the message and give people a false sense of security. If masks had been the solution in Asia, shouldn't they have stopped the pandemic before it spread elsewhere? So really, after I read through the entire article, their conclusion was not only do masks not work, but they give the person a false sense of safety, where perhaps if they were sick and they felt like they could put the mask on and go out, they're actually making other people sick. So those people should just stay home. And this false sense of security, where maybe someone is sick and you feel like you can be closer to them or be around their space, or if they've sneezed on something or touched something, then it will be easily transmitted to you whether they have a mask on or not. And the other thing, as most of us know, when people have masks on, they touch their face more often. So if they're sick, they're actually going to spread it even more. So these are real problems with masks that are not being discussed. And the fact is, our governors know that masks don't work. In fact, our governors know that they probably make it worse, and they probably will spread the virus more. Let's see what the WHO says, which I'm not at all in favor of the WHO. But even they say, Dr. Nancy Messonnier, director of the Center for the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Disease. She says, we don't routinely recommend the use of face masks by the public to prevent respiratory illness, said on January 31st, and we certainly are not recommending them at this time for new viruses. So the final thoughts on this article is surgical masks, loose fitting, they are designed to protect the patient from the doctor's respiratory droplets. The wearer is not protected from others' airborne particulars. If you are walking alone, no mask, avoid folks, that is common sense. The designer masks and scarves offer minimal protection. They give a false sense of security to both the wearer and those around the wearer. So we have doctors coming out and saying that we don't work. We have had Fauci, who I don't even like to mention his name because, he'll say whatever to whatever news station or reporter is asking him a question. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask, masks work, they don't work. Let's all show up with the mask on, let's not. So, truthfully, if this is the way that they're presenting it, are they trying to confuse the public on purpose? I think so. But if you are a person who's on the fence on wearing a mask, or maybe you're one of those wonderful mask shamers, which is really just the mob mentality, you should know that by wearing a mask, you're probably making the situation worse, not better. And of course, let's talk about all of the physical effects that a mask can have on a person where they feel like they can't get enough air, where it's very hot outside. If somebody has asthma, they're not able to breathe. Like I've said in other videos, I've seen people who are waiting in line to get into a store and they have a mask on. They look like they're about to pass out. Children in bathrooms. I can't tell you how many bathrooms I've visited where children are in there with their parents and I hear them saying to their mom, I can't breathe, can I take it off? I've heard them on the streets. These parents are putting masks on their children. It's not good for them. And really, where does it say that a mask is going to 100% stop this virus? I mean, there's so many different studies out there, but really, if you look at the real studies that come from real physicians, real medical doctors, most of them, if you read down between the lines, will say masks really do not work. And again, it's giving people a false sense of security, and also people are touching their face more. I think one of the funniest things that they put out in my county is when wearing a mask, make sure not to touch your face. Okay, thank you, Big Brother. So you're aware of the fact that people touch their face. So that's why you're saying it. Really? How about just if you want to wear a mask, fine. But, if you don't want to wear a mask, you don't have to. And we actually know it doesn't really work. So just keep, a nice distance from somebody. And also, if you're sick, why don't you just stay home? Wow, that seems like really good common sense. And let's not forget to wash our hands with soap and water. So anyway, I just wanted to bring you that information. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Share my videos with others. I'd like to hear your comments and maybe if you've found some other information that you want to share, and subscribe to my channel, and I will link this article below. Make it a great day.